Hi, welcome to PrimeTime Pickleball. My name is Jordan Briones, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about one very important aspect that you need to factor in when playing pickleball, and that is the weather conditions, specifically when it's very windy. But before that, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so that you will be notified anytime we come out with any future videos. Also, if you like this video, just go ahead and like it and share it with your friends. Let's jump right in. All right, so I just finished a drilling session with my partner, and tonight it was almost 30-mile-per-hour winds. So if you have played pickleball for any length of time, you know that this is really windy and that these conditions can be very tough to play in. So because these conditions are very tough to play in, I have 5 tips for you that can help you when you are playing in strong wind. Tip number 1. Know that you are not the only person playing in the wind. Of course, your partner is playing with you, and also your opponents have to play in the same weather as you do. So eventually you will switch sides and you are all in an equal playing field, so don't get discouraged that it's so windy. All right, so the second tip for you when playing with the wind is to know where the wind is blowing. So one thing I like to do before I start a game is I like to grab a ball, throw it really high in the air, and kind of see which way that ball is moving. So then you kind of know if you're going to play with the wind or against the wind, or if the wind is moving left and right. So speaking of that, it's really important to talk about what side you play on. Usually before a pickleball game, before a match, the referee will come up to you and you get to decide whether you serve or you get to receive or pick what side. So in my experience, it's a lot easier to serve with the wind for the first game instead of serving against the wind. And because of that, usually if I get to pick the side, I will pick the side serving with the wind, so that just in case you split games, if you play 2 out of 3, you can play that third game starting serving with the wind. Okay, so in my experience, I usually would pick that side. Returning with the wind against you is really tough. It's really tough to get your returns deep, and then if you don't do that, it's really hard to set up you and your opponent well at the non-volley zone. So yeah, if you have the opportunity to pick what side, I would choose, if I were you, I would choose the side that's serving with the wind. All right, so the third tip I have for you when playing with the wind is to move your targets closer to the middle of the court. Whether you're serving or whether you're returning, and even your dinks and every shot in the game of pickleball, you really want to give more margin the windier it is. And doing this is going to actually make you play higher percentage pickleball, and it's going to make more of your shots go in, right? So let's say your margins were previously 2 feet from the sideline. Just move it a couple feet inside, because you don't know how strong that wind is going to be. So to be smart, move those targets closer to the middle of the court. Even when serving and returning, depending on whether the wind is pushing the ball towards you or away from you, your serve and return could go short and could go long, right? So just really pay attention to what the wind is doing and really move those targets closer to the middle of the court so that you don't make unnecessary errors. All right, so my fourth tip that I have for you when playing in the wind is to beware of the high balls. Now, what I mean by this is the longer that ball is in the air, the more the wind could adjust and move that ball. So this goes in returns and also your third shot drop, right? So the higher you hit that ball, the more that ball can move away from the target that you're aiming at. So that's one thing you really want to keep in mind. Also, saying that, it's really important that you know that sometimes it's easier when you get a return, instead of attempting a third shot drop, you'll see a lot of people in windy conditions drive the ball instead of drop it. And I think this is really smart because if you drive it, the ball the pace is much faster and it's in the air a shorter amount of time, and the wind affects the ball less. So maybe you can try this out when you get the return. Instead of dropping your third shot in windy conditions, go ahead and drive that ball and then drop it maybe on the fifth shot, and then you and your partner could then advance to the non-volley zone. All right, so my fifth and final tip for you is to stay focused and never give up. All right, I know it's really hard when it's really windy to play in those conditions, but like I said in the beginning, remember that everyone is playing in those conditions, and just really dial in and try to focus your mind on the next shot and not worry about previous mistakes. All right, make those slight adjustments when you need to. If you're hitting the ball short into the net, go ahead and give it a little bit more push next time. Or if you're returning really long and your balls are going out, you know that on the next shot, you're just going to have to take a little bit off of it. Actually, I have a story for you. I played the US Open a couple years ago, and me and my partner were dealing with this exact scenario that I'm talking about. The winds were probably 30 to 40 miles an hour. It was really tough, and actually we lost that match. The other team knew it was really windy, and it was just a weird game. You know, when it's really windy, anything could happen. And I remember very specifically the last few points, maybe 4 or 5 points, the other team was just lobbing the ball so high. The wind was swirling so much, and it was so crazy that it was the ball was swirling left and right, and we kind of just mentally broke down, and you know, it was just hard to hit those overheads, and we were even trying to let the ball bounce and things like that. But it can be really hard to stay focused with the wind, but you know, just focus on trying to get in position, hit the ball cleanly, and make sure you never give up. So I hope this video really has helped you out, and you know, just make adjustments accordingly and don't get down on yourself. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like.
Thanks so much for watching. For more free video lessons, please visit primetimepickleball.com. But before you head on over there, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss out on any future videos. Also, for PrimeTime Pickleball shirts like this and other great apparel, please visit ptpgear.com.